It's already been a memorable week for the Spruce Kings out at the National Junior A Championship, but of course, their job isn't done yet. The team plays its final round-robin game tonight with some pretty high stakes, and here's Jesse McGowan in Brooks, Alberta with all of your Kings coverage.
Thanks a lot, Matt. Well, yesterday was game day for the Prince George Spruce Kings as they returned to action against the Portage Terriers. Now, the game meant very little for the standings, but it did mean a lot when you consider the team looking to build momentum as they head into tonight's final round-robin game against the host Brooks Bandits. Now, it was another lopsided Kings win last night, but it gave the opportunity for a very deserving and patient goaltender to get some minutes on the national stage. Terriers fan base coming out in full force for this one as their team was seeking win number 1 in their final game of the tournament. Well, they were in tough against the Kings, who came marching in, winners of 2 in a row, outscoring opponents 9-1 so far. Wondering what Dustin and Ben are talking about? Probably this guy. The superfan actually barking for a good portion of the game, even when his team was down, which they were, only 55 seconds in.
Mans back to Anhorn. He'll bring it to the net. He shoots. He scores. Highlight reel goal by Dylan Anhorn.
Dylan Anhorn makes a beautiful move to cut through the defense, finishing the first of the game, but not the last. 6 minutes later, Chongmin Lee would hit one in from a weird angle, and then 10 minutes after that, it's Ben Brar walking in and ripping one through to make it a quick 3-0 after 20 minutes. Kings outshot the Portage team 20-3 in the first, which meant Logan Neaton only had to make a few saves. And then in the second, he found himself in an unfamiliar spot on the bench, opening the door for Keenan Ranciere to get between the pipes, who hasn't played since February 23rd when he picked up the win against Chilliwack. Well, he'd only get tested 7 times through the next 2 periods, and he'd make all but 1 save, much to the delight of his dad, Garnett, who traveled from Vancouver Island to watch him play, thrilled to see his son take the ice, and he wasn't the only one smiling about it either.
That was unbelievable. I know who he is as a kid and just how hard he works and the compete level and effort he brings to practice every day, and just to be able to watch him be successful out there and get into the national tournament was a really cool feeling for me, just to kind of look down as a kid that I've been trying to mentor and kind of teach just like the goalies did before me. So
Ranciere would get a little more support from the Spruce Kings offense too, as Nolan Welsh jumped on a rebound in the second to make it 4-0, and then Nick Poisson would score his 3rd goal in the tournament in the 3rd period to pad the Kings' 5-1 lead, their 3rd straight game. They've won by 4 goals. Portage will try again next year when they host the National Junior A Championship, and we'll see him there too, right? Lots of love for Ranciere after the game as the Kings roll to an easy 5-1 win. Shots were 44-10 in another dominant performance.
We got to build into tomorrow's game against Brooks, and I think that starts with a good hard game today, where if we kind of had a squeak out 1-0, 2-0 win today, I don't think we'd be as happy going into tomorrow or confident.
Tomorrow's a big game for us, so I think we're excited for it. We're both 3-0, so it should be a good test. Crowd should be in it tomorrow. It should be a fun atmosphere, so I think our guys will get up for it, especially seeing Brooks quite a bit over the last 2 weeks.
Nothing can compare to what it'll be like tonight when the Spruce Kings take on the host Brooks Bandits. The arena sits around 1,700 fans, and you know it's going to be packed as the teams compete for first place in the preliminary stage. Now, one player, we've talked about it during the playoffs, who has been building off that intensity is Max Coyle. The Ontario boy loves playing in front of big crowds, and none better than this Brooks Bandits crowd he gets to play in front of tonight. The Bandits are an old team full of big guys, many Ontario players as well, and that's where Coyle's grit and toughness becomes key. He'll be sharing the ice with 10 other Ontario skaters when the Kings face the Bandits tonight, including a former teammate and still good friend, Jake Lee. Here's Max on the matchup and the arena that just loves him.
I grew up not really with them, but played my first 3 years with them, first 3 years of junior, and I lived with them for my first 2, so we became pretty close, became pretty good buddies, hanging out all summer, their last 4 years now. So he's pretty competitive on the ice. He's kind of the same way I am. So we're pretty gritty together, but he's just doing the exact same thing I am. The crowd's getting into it. We like that. I'd rather play in front of that than a dead barn. I mean, it's kind of fun. The crowd's getting into it. We're getting into it. It's harmless. I mean, they're saying some stuff, but you just gotta let it go and forget about it, and that's fun to play in front of. I don't know really if I can say it on TV right now, but some of the stuff's pretty absurd. They got 12-year-old kids yelling and guys pouring beer on me from up top. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're chirping everyone, but I kind of gave it back to them. It's just kind of the way I've been my whole life. So if someone's going to yell at me, I'm always going to yell at them back, and I don't think they're used to that. But
it is quite the atmosphere here in Brooks, Alberta, a town of about 14,000 people, and that means that they love their local hockey. The Bandits have a pretty good support system here, and as you can see, they come out in full effect for this National Junior A Championship. Centennial Regional Arena sure to be a busy place tonight. It's the 6 o'clock Pacific time start between the Bandits and the Spruce Kings as they renew that rivalry established in the Doyle Cup, which you'll remember the Kings won in 6 games. The winner of this game grabs the top seed coming out of the round robin and will get to choose the semifinal they play in on Saturday, either 1 o'clock Pacific time or 6 o'clock Pacific time, with the final set for Sunday at 2 p.m. That pretty much wraps up all our coverage from Brooks, Alberta here. I'm Jesse McGowan. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, thanks, Jesse.
We've watched this postseason as sellouts, drum sessions, and on-ice celebrations have built quite the Spruce Kings fan base like we've never seen before, while a lot of the dedicated fans and some family members have made their way out to Brooks this week and are helping the Kings pursue that national title. Some have been fans for 20 years, others only since their hockey-playing son called them and said, "Mom, I'm moving to Prince George." Regardless of how long, these Kings fans have made the ever-long drive to Brooks, Alberta this week to cheer on the boys. Let's start with the parents. I walk into Central Regional Arena this weekend. The first thing I see is a table of Spruce Kings parents and grandparents reveling over their early win and getting set to cheer the boys on for another round-robin game.
From painting the moms painting their nails.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The bells, there are boas, there are blue Spruce Kings cowboy hats. There's probably, I think, 50 Spruce Kings fans here dressed in Spruce Kings gear, probably way more than that, but amazing support, so fun.
The AHACs traveling from North Vancouver for the week, while the Mans clan came all the way from Vanderbilt, Michigan, a city of under 600 people as of a 2017 census. For these moms, watching their sons play their final games of junior hockey on the national stage, yeah, pretty proud moments.
Oh, I think it's really cool. It's a great way to end the season. You couldn't ask for a better end, and all the hard work and everything that they did is super. So they're really getting rewarded for that.
Dustin Mans backhands it over Boisvert.
Fantastic experience for fans, my son, players. It's just all encompassing. You can't even describe what it feels like. I'm so happy.
Well, they've had a lot to celebrate so far, as have the numerous Kings fans in the building, like the Rutherfords, two of a handful of Spruce Kings season ticket holders who have made the trip to the home of the Bandits for all the junior hockey they can handle. The crazy part is they were counting down the days to this tournament long before the Kings had punched their ticket to the dance.
We bought our tickets in December for this event, just purely on spec, because we figured they would be here.
And it's not just the Kings that the Rutherfords, the Ridleys, and others have watched either. They're making sure that ticket package is worth every penny.
We watched all the games here so far, and I think they have a really good chance. So, go Kings, go!
While it's no rolling mixed concrete arena, this section of fans has been loud and proud when the Spruce Kings take the ice, and the word is that even more Spruce Kings fans will be here for the weekend playoff games.